Hello, I want to introduce Gillian. She's our next speaker, and she is an art therapist and lecturer in further education. She has a great experience in being an art therapist, and she's been working with disabled adults, and she will share with us some perspective on art therapy and on her premises, I believe. Gillian, on
Hi
you.
everyone. So I'm going to be talking about my practice in art therapy. Art therapy is
Just a minute. Sorry, just a minute. There's still a little pop-up on the screen again. So we just try once again and see if we can get it away. Super sorry to interrupt.
Thank you. Sorry, Gillian. Thank you, Eric, for busting in there like a ballerina. Sorry, Gillian. Sorry for the false start. Let's go again. Appreciate everybody's patience. I'll press play and then we will see how it goes. Guys, the team, can you highlight Gillian for the talk? There we go. Is there anything there?
It is still there, but let's go.
okay.
Sorry, Gillian.
No worries. So I'm talking about art therapy, which is a form of psychotherapy with the added dimension of art materials. And I'm going to talk about my promise to my clients, and that is a promise to be available, to be consistent, and to offer a safe space. So in this image, you can see my art studio, which I set up 2 years ago. And that was for young learning disabled adults who are at risk of isolation. This is a weekly space. You can see in the image here, we have 2 clients who are working on a joint project. There's no particular theme. It's not an art class. I don't teach. It's quite open-ended and non-directive. So whatever the clients want to bring, they bring, such as food. Although we don't analyse the work. We look a lot more at the process. Yes, that can be absolutely anything. It can be completely random. But as you develop a relationship with the clients, you tend to kind of understand their visual language. We have a lot of adults with physical conditions. And I think particularly in young adults, there can be a bit of a stigma around disability, with a young man who was kind of a bit ashamed of his condition, and transformed his stick into a wonderful piece of art. It's not common in art therapy to have works for sale. However, I've taken a kind of different approach where I want to encourage and empower the clients that use the group. And that can be a way to make money as well, because quite often young disabled adults are excluded from employment and therefore from making money. This is an image that was in an exhibition a few years ago. So again, exhibitions are not really common practice in art therapy, although they are becoming more so. This is an image of a cat from an almost non-verbal client. And I've shown that in the exhibition with the other professional artists. And I think it's important to say that I don't label, or we don't label the artists or the clients as being learning disabled, although they are. I don't think in the context of art or exhibitions that it's relevant to give them a label. This image here shows one of our clients with his pen collection. So sometimes the art in art therapy can be an object, an inanimate object or a collection of things. So in this case, this client was a bit more reluctant to use the art materials, maybe through a lack of confidence. And we used his kind of passion and helped him to create an exhibition with hundreds from his thousands of pens, which actually was more about the theme of loss, because the pen collection was inherited from his granddad when his granddad died. This is a follow-on workshop, which was a way to bring in more of the public into his exhibition. So it was a bit more interactive. People that joined the workshop were able to use his pens, and that was quite significant for him. As I said, it's not always the end result, or it's more about the process in art therapy. And I think this one, for me, is just a bit of a reminder that sometimes materials can be used to display emotions such as anger. And in this case, the young person was upset with me for going on maternity leave. And that coincided with the COVID-19 pandemic, which is shown here. So like everyone else, the young people that access the group have been affected in quite a number of ways. So it's been difficult for them. And I had to kind of be true to my promise and find a way to continue that group. So I was inspired by their artwork, which was all about the WhatsApp, which is something that they've increasingly using. And I moved the art therapy group to an online space, which has kind of changed the artwork process, because a lot of the work is now being made digitally, which is also a bit more sustainable in some ways. And I think the clients have really been able to show their isolation, or the feeling that they are a bit cut off. As everyone else has, physical contact, and the restrictions here have been particularly hard for my clients. And that's really been felt. And so although the space has continued online, there isn't a way for us to have that physical contact. So a way to try and counter this, or to offer some means of physical touch, we sent out clay to our clients, which we can really identify as being quite helpful. It doesn't necessarily fill that absence, but just that sensorial quality of the materials can help. This image is the last exhibition that we had as a group, and that was just 1 week before the UK lockdown was announced. So I think that it was quite important for us to keep revisiting the images of that, just to kind of foster that sense of hope that there will be one day a return to that kind of practice. But for now, our exhibitions take place digitally in the form of the WhatsApp galleries of all the art making that they upload. And so it's definitely not as we started out, but we've noticed benefits. And yeah, I think this last image speaks for itself.